this is Katie, and thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast. And today I wanted to talk about clearing space. And this can be clearing space in your schedule or in your environment. There is a really big effect that when you clear things in your immediate environment that you're looking at all the time, it can have this really beautiful effect on how you can then think. When we were constantly looking around and seeing projects to do, and I want to say that there's something key here. It's not about having stuff out or not, because there are a lot of people who are, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And then there's a lot of people who are like, I just need everything cleared off because I know where I've put everything away and it's all in its own sections and labeled, and that's great. But there are a lot of people who need their tools out at the ready and need to see them. But if they have a project out or they see unfinished projects, that's when every time you're looking at that unfinished project, that's when it's filling up brain space. And you look at that and you go, okay, I instantly feel guilt or shame about it. And are just constantly like, I need to do that. I need to do that. Why am I not doing that? Why can't I do it? Why am I procrastinating? What's wrong with me? And then all these shoulds get on yourself, right? But once you are starting to go through your projects and say you clear off a space, what does that feel like when that's no longer there? And usually my clients are like, oh my goodness, now I can just I have time to think about other things. I can go and tackle something else that I've been putting off. It can have a domino effect of you start cleaning that space and then you go on to another space and you're like, oh wow, this took a lot shorter time than I ever thought. And key thing here, time yourself when you're doing these tasks to really understand how long it takes, because your brain does a not very good job at estimating. It can overestimate and underestimate, and especially things that are just sitting there, you're like, wait, that only took me 5 minutes, and it's been sitting there for 2 months. And it's not that you just have more information now. You have information so that if you see a project similar to that, you can relate and go, wait, that might be just a 5-minute task. Sometimes, though, I understand that we come across something we estimate about 5 minutes, and then we realize we have to do all this other research attached to it. So again, timing it, saying, okay, if I'm doing this one task, what's the other information that could come up? And maybe just making a little outline can help you go, okay, if I tackle this project as for my family, we need to do this for the house. Do we need to call for an estimate? Do we need to prep the space? Do we need to save up money for it? Do we need to schedule it at a time that's not inconvenient for everybody? Do we have space in our schedule for that? Should we wait till next year for tax reasons? Who knows? There's all these different factors, right, that go into tackling that one project to help you clear your space. So really understanding, how do I step into creating a cleared space for myself? Now, in your schedule, if you want to look at having more blank space around your activities, around your work, to allow for more time to think clearly, more time to think critically, more time to process, more time to transition in and out of a project, because our bodies need transition times. So are we adding in lead up time, doing the project, then leading out? Or are we thinking the moment that comes up in our schedule, we're going to immediately dive in and not have to prep anything? So, I mean, I say all this because I run into all this. I know that I can make these assumptions that I can just jump into something and start something and it won't be too hard. And I realize, before I can even do this project, I need to put down drop cloths. I need to do this. I need to prep that. It's like painting a room. What other prep do you need to do? It's not just rolling on paint. There's so much before and after the rolling on paint. So think of that in terms of your looking at your schedule. Can we say no to some things so that our schedules have the ability to not only be rescheduled, to not only allow for life to come into our schedule and go, oh great, I didn't even account for this today, but I have extra time, so thank goodness I can actually tend to that today. Or having these lead in and lead out times that really help make us feel good and go, okay, I have extra time and I can just sit here and pause and take a break. I think also that we can very much feel like we need to fill up our time. When we're constantly on social media, we kind of have this feeling of like, well, what else can keep my brain that busy? What else can keep my brain that entertained? And when we sit there and we're trying to stay away from our phones, or we're trying to just think our own thoughts for a while, we actually kind of need to build that into our schedules so we allow our brains to operate more at ease. And having those little moments and appreciating, making tea or coffee for yourself, of looking out the window and admiring the plants outside and the growth that we may see, or the leaves falling in the fall, or anything like that. We need to stretch things out sometimes to just acknowledge that life is going on all around us. So where do you need more space? Do you need more physical space so that your mind can feel more clear? Do you need more mental space so you can think about clearing your space and your environment? They kind of go hand in hand, and when you're feeling more spacious about things, some magical things can happen. So thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast.